Hey guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University, and my voice is a little bit better, finally. After I went off air last week, I knew that I was coming down with something. So I sat up that night. I didn't sleep that night at all. I sat up the entire night and I did my Nokia explained in a minute and my, what do you call it? I did a whole bunch of videos that night, really. I actually did a lot of videos. My Nokia explained in a minute, and tonight's Claw explained in a minute. Plus, I talked about my spotlight on story for Fantastic Four number 53, which came out this week, which came out today, just a couple hours ago. So I actually did a lot, plus my face rip stuff, yeah, and the stuff for Nerderkey. I did all of that stuff immediately. I sound like Batman. Wolfman Jack. Holy crap. That's how you know that Dick and I are easily the same age. Do you remember it's rhetorical, but you remember the Wolfman Jack Saturday morning cartoon? Absolute best. You just freaking made my night, man. I think I just got twice as healthy as I was 5 minutes ago. That's great. Wow. So, what do you call Oh man, nice one. Nice one. So, yeah, I did all of that work and I was like, yeah, man, I got ahead. And I was thinking I'm going to get all this stuff done and then I'm going to, get sick and then I'll get better and I'll just do whatever. But while I was sick, I literally could not do anything. I was just bedridden almost the entire time. Trying to knock out freaking comic book reviews was killing me, even though I did almost all of them on Tuesday night before they even released on Wednesday morning, Wednesday at 3 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Wednesday 3 a.m. is when I'll usually put out my first comic book review because that's when Comixology will drop them, and I don't want to get that. I know it's like an advantage that, hey, I got the comics before almost everybody, but I kind of feel like it's cheating. I don't think it's really fair. So 3 a.m. That's the best head start everybody else is going to get. Just don't review the most popular comic book, and you'll probably get it up before me. In the meantime, so yeah, I'm right now. I'm actually struggling to catch up with all my work because I just got so damn sick. It's sickening. And even just losing your voice when you do something like this is crippling to your production, And I lose my voice almost every single time I get sick. So go figure. Anyway, holy crap, everybody's a whole bunch of people here. Ewing is working on a new mini. Yeah, Al Ewing, what is I need to know what exactly he's going to be working on. No, Sean, I just got finished saying I half died, all right? I almost died. No, I barely read the comics that I got. In fact, I didn't even read Monday's comics yet. You know that? The comics that I usually do for Monday, my extra ones. What do I have? WWE number 13, which I'm sure I'm going to have something to say about because it's not actually written by Dennis Hopeless, which is not right to me. That's 2 comics in a row that he didn't write. It's like, are you trying to replace him now because he just made this popular? So that bugs me a little bit. And I know I get like 13 views on the lousy comic, whatever. I love the comic and I'm going to review it. So, shoot, what else am I actually putting out for on Monday? Take too long to try and find it. James Cropland, biggest story of the week was Hickman saying he wants to write for Marvel or DC. Your thoughts on a possible Hickman X-Men series? A Hickman X-Men series would be awesome. Make no mistake about that. And really quick, Sean, yes, I'm hyped for Exiles. Plus, you also sent me that one thing that says that's actually the Age of Apocalypse version of Blink. Oh my God, that's wow. I don't know how they're going to incorporate that, but I'm excited to see it. But James, with Hickman wanting to write I was just happy seeing Gail Simone is going to come over to Marvel for something, and she's going to come over for Domino, which, yay, tomorrow in a couple hours, my review for what is it? Wonder Woman Conan issue number 5 of 6 will go up. Very favorable review. God, I love Gail Hickman. Like, her writing is just absolutely superb. So I can't wait to see what she's going to do with Domino. Especially like what she's doing over what Domino is doing over in the Weapon X series is okay. You know what I'm saying? It's not bad at all, but yeah, seeing her solo and then written by Gail, I think would be fantastic. So I'm really looking forward to that. Holy crap, I see Manuel Cabeza is here, man. What's going on, brother? Hold on, so let me see what we got here. Dick says, I found Uncanny X-Men 185, Storm losing her powers, in a garage sale for $3. Dude, that is freaking amazing. You know what I was just kicking myself for again today? I'd gone, really digital since I lost all my comics in 2011. I'd gone all digital, and I hadn't even read a comic book in about a year and a half, because in 2011 I lost everything. I was over in the Middle East, and I was like, you know what? I'm so mad that I lost everything. I'm just done. I watched comic book movies, and I watched comic book animations, you know what I'm saying? But I did not read a single comic book. And they do have, every so often you'll find a comic book over there. They're very overpriced, but it is what it is. I think like 23 reals, which equates to about $8. a little bit too much. So, I was really, I was like so upset. I just stopped. And then I started collecting online, the digital stuff. Anyway, I came back here. I came to Canada, and it's been a year and a half now. Whatever. It's been about a year and a half. Almost 2 years, in fact. You know what? Shoot. Next month will actually be 2 years. Shoot. More time here than I thought. Anyway, I'd gotten here, and within like 2 or 3 months, I went and I started looking around in a local, what the heck is it called? One of those little like 5 and dime stores. It's a Goodwill store. You know what I'm saying? They get donations, and then they sell the stuff to try and make some money to go to charity, And I saw an issue. I saw that red bonded issue of Venom. Was it Lethal Protector? I can't remember which one it was, actually. But it was the one issue of Venom. And I looked and I was like, somebody donated this? And it's not in Mylar, but it's in a plastic bag. And I'm sitting here looking at it. I held it. And I'm looking at the binding. You never lose that. You never lose that. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sitting there looking. I was like, I don't see a single crease in the binding. Like the cover, I can't see the back of it, but I can see the front of it. It's beautiful. I'm like, wow, go figure. It's got the holographic image on the front and everything. And I'm like, should I get this? And get this. It was $5. It's worse. I'm in Canada, so $5 Canadian is like $3.50 American. You know what I'm saying? And I saw it and I was like, you know what? I don't even know how much this is worth anymore, and I don't even care. And I hung it back up and I walked away. And the next day, I went back in thinking, I should grab this. And it was gone. Of course it was gone. Somebody infinitely smarter than I walked in there and was like, oh, somebody was really stupid to sell this. Somebody was stupid to not buy it when he saw it. So yeah, I completely missed out on that. And and that was actually the thing that made me say, you know what? I'm going to start collecting physical copies of comic books again. And that's when I immediately started my Thor collection. Thor and Alpha Flight. And wow, I was so, that still bothers me today. I still think about that often, that I didn't grab that. I don't even care how much it's worth. I don't care. What a great thing to have in your collection when you lost it, all these years ago, So, what do you got? Check your local Facebook marketplace for comics. You find some gems. Brother, you show me how to get to that stuff, and I will, because sometimes I do see that stuff, but I don't know when it's showing up. I don't know, what sites it is on comic book. I'm on Comic Book Collectors on Facebook, but I barely ever talk in there. Just it is what it is. But if you let me know what's on there or what some of these good sites are, I will absolutely do that. Because I think they'll do some good shipping. Thoughts on Kitty's wedding. A lot of people are really excited for that. I kind of look at it as,
whatever. Honestly, whatever. She's been with so many different people that who cares at this point? You know, saying she's gonna get married. Oh boy. And Colossus just seems like a freaking lost wet puppy to me at this point. I don't like to do the whole, what is a man thing. You know what I'm saying? I don't like to do that because I know I grew up with a lot of that stuff. I think everybody my age grew up with that, be a man, be a man, be a man. It's probably one of the reasons why I did join the military. It's probably, it's one of those things that sticks with you, you know what I'm saying? And things like that. And it's like, so if you don't act exactly like this, what, you're not a man? Not true. But at the same time, I can't help but to look at Colossus, and I just want to say to myself, dude, just be a man. Oh my God, stop being a little baby. Jeez. So I honestly just don't even care about Colossus, Peter Rasputin at this point. I really just don't care. I want to, you know what I'm saying? Maybe this would have happened before she would have gotten with Star-Lord. But, I'm not going to blame any other writer for that. So it is what it is. Sean, with the whole, Manuel, I feel that Hickman should write New Gods. You know what? Especially with the popularity right now of Mr. Miracle, dude, that is probably the best suggestion I could possibly imagine. That is just hammer, nail on the head. You know what I'm saying? That would be great. To just, DC's got, I know everybody loves some DC. I don't have the whole SJW Marvel problem. You know what I'm saying? I don't. So I don't have a problem with going back and forth between Marvel and DC. Holy crap, and I got to talk about Damage. A bunch of people got upset with me for just kind of, on Damage. I was a little more callous than I usually am with comics this week just because I'm so sick. But, I'm not tempering my words, and it's hard to put a proper inflection in my voice because everything's just coming out like freaking sandpaper. I should karaoke some, for crying out loud, I just had his name, Johnny Cash, there we go. How do you forget Johnny Cash? So, anyway, yeah, it's hard, whatever, but I saw Graphic Policy do a review, and I turned off his review immediately because I put up the review before I think anybody else did. It was one of the first ones that I reviewed. Anyway, I saw Graphic Policy did the review after I did, so I went on and I checked it, and I looked, I'm listening to it, and a couple, like maybe a minute or two into it, he says at one point, yeah, man, DC is out Marveling Marvel. I was like, oh, click off. Like, shut up. Just shut up. How do you out Marvel Marvel? Marvel is Marvel, DC is DC. You know what I'm saying? Can you imagine how dumb it would be for somebody to say, oh yeah, Marvel just out DC? What does that mean? What does that mean? Is it because this is clearly the most obvious, blatant ripoff of a character since? You name it. You name it. You know what I'm saying? I'm one of those people who don't believe that Shazam, the original Captain Marvel, was a ripoff of Superman. I don't believe he was at all. I think it was horrible that DC took advantage of Fawcett Comics that way. Like, just absolutely ridiculous. But that being the case, I started looking a little bit more, and I started looking at the reviews of all these other characters again, and like Sideways is a clear imitation of Spider-Man, and so on and so forth. And I'm actually okay with that. You know what I'm saying? I think that most people are, for the most part. I'm okay with all of that. That doesn't actually bother me. I didn't realize that was the route they were going to be going. I didn't realize they were actually just going to be taking, there's going to be like remember they had Stan Lee, what if Stan Lee wrote for the DC Universe? He wouldn't be very good at it. Let's just put it that way. But what do you call it? What if DC people wrote for Marvel, or made a new version of Marvel characters? That's cool. Okay, honestly, I don't really have a problem with that. But I just wonder, what's the purpose at this point? What's honestly the purpose of doing something like that? And I looked at Damage, and I genuinely felt that this was written for a kid. You know what I'm saying? And when I mean kid, I'm not talking as an old person saying kid. I'm saying an actual, like, hasn't quite gotten to high school yet kid. The writing is really, really weak, in my opinion. The characters are all one-dimensional. I mean, as basic gets. You get some woman who's a colonel or a general or whatever the heck she is in some military outfit that they don't label, and she's got an eye patch and a scar. Okay, cool. So black female Cable. Ugh. Did did Marvel just SJW Nick Fury? Like, is that what just happened? So, that's a thing. But that's a thing. That's a thing, though. DC Comics is more to the right than Marvel is. Marvel is as far left as you could possibly imagine. You know what I'm saying? Which does get annoying at times. Make no mistake, it gets annoying at times. But DC has always stayed center right. So when you see people talking about, the name callers, the typical name callers and whatnot, they're always from the right, and they always love DC Comics. Even if DC goes and does something if they call, I am SJW Warrior, the brand new hero for the repressed, and they're actually writing it as a serious comic book, I promise you, plenty of those name caller comic ripping channels would be out there, be like, no, this is actually really good. This is actually, because like if you're gonna do an SJW character, at least do it this way. Like, I promise you, they would still defend DC. It's just in their blood. You know what I'm saying? They're the people. Blood is thicker than water. What does that mean? So that's the way I look at stuff like that. So yeah, I didn't really like Damage. I just thought it was so basic. Everything was just a trope. Every single character was just a facsimile of something else. You got the Thunderbolt Ross character who actually puts on a suit. You got this character who's not even the Hulk. He's I can't remember his name right now. The Uncanny Avengers version of the Hulk. He's the current Red Hulk, where he's got the thing on his wrist. He pushes it, and every day, every 24 hours, he could turn into the Hulk for an hour. That's exactly what this guy is. And it's funny because you see a bunch of people who aren't reading the Marvel comics who are looking at this character and saying, he's kind of like the Hulk, except that he can turn into the Hulk for an hour every 24 hours. We've already got a Hulk who does that. Read a comic book. And I'm not calling out any names because I'm not actually interested in insulting any of these people by name at all. I don't want any shade cast on these guys. And it was actually really rude of me to say go read a comic book. Obviously, they're reading a lot of comic books. They're simply not reading every comic book. They're not reading the same comic books I'm reading. So that was actually really douchey of me to say. Nonetheless, yeah, I don't know. I just didn't like Damage. It's basic, and I hope that Sideways is going to be written better. It looks like it could be. There's a Jack Kirby-esque death character in it, which looks pretty interesting. I guess we'll see that next week. This coming week, we're going to wind up seeing the Terrifics, which actually looks really good. Seeing Mr. Terrific back again, loving it. Apparently, Plastic Man is out of his egg. Yes, good. One of the few characters who could beat Superman. I said it. Okay, let's move on. Sean S.h.i.e.l.d. with a really good idea also. I'd prefer Hickman to write the Inhumans. Brother, I don't see any problem with that at all. Deadpool might end at issue 300. Yes, well, I don't know that it would. It might. There is an awful lot of Deadpool, and sometimes Deadpool actually needs to take a step back every so often. Especially with like Deadpool Logan is out, and we just had Deadpool and the Punisher, and Deadpool and Gambit, and Deadpool versus my dead dog, and just Deadpool's like he's a little bit too all over the place right now. While people can take a step back from Deadpool, sometimes Deadpool has to take a step back from people. Yeah, he can get a bit much, and I haven't gotten there yet, but we'll see what happens. P.A. Stewart, what's up, everyone? What's up? How you doing? What are we missing here? What the frick? I hate when it jumps. It actually just jumped like a page and a half. Oh wow, got a bunch of people in here right now. My beard should have a comic miniseries. Gabriel Brennan. Nice one, man. I like it. um, what the? Oh, wow. This just jumped a lot. Okay, so I've got to start using that side scroller now. Jeez. Okay, that just missed a lot. Okay. Xenomorph Queen. Hey, what's going on? Hey there. What happened to Doc Kurt, the Lizard, and Jameson? Haven't seen them in a while in new Venom comics. This is true. This is true. Well, Jameson is actually currently over in the Spectacular Spider-Man. Peter Parker, the Spectacular Spider-Man comics. And Peter actually just revealed his identity to Jameson, which is a very bold move by Zardosky. But Dan Slott is cool with it. Not that he's going to be on the comics much longer. He's leaving. He's going over to Iron Man now. Holy crap, that's interesting. I can't wait to see what he does over there. And then, so Slott is going to be taking over for Bendis after Bendis leaves. I don't know who's jumping on Spider-Man at this point. Sean Sadrai might know. My Eye of Agamotto. And I got a surprise for you, Sean. Just give me a minute. Mutants and Inhuman Factory. Who is your favorite superhero? And right away, you're back with the typical Marvel, Disney buying Fox's monopoly. Yes, I have a question for you, Mutants and Inhuman fanboy. Am I the only channel that you spam that stuff on? Because I'm okay with it. It's just, I've engaged you on it before, and I haven't gotten a whole lot back. Just more of that. So it is what it is. But who's my favorite superhero? I'm going to tell you something that's going to be really weird, and everybody's going to laugh because they already know what I'm going to say. It's Hawkman. My favorite superhero. Actually, my favorite superhero is Captain America. But my favorite DC superhero is Hawkman, which I know is weird, but it's the first comic book character the first comic book I ever bought with my own money was Hawkman Shadow War, issue number 1 of 4. It was written by Tony Isabella, the guy who created Black Lightning and several other characters. And just it held a special place in my heart, for a really long time. And I just thought it was one of the most beautifully drawn characters, incredible concept character, and the lore, the love of the lore that's been pumped into the Hawkman and Hawkwoman character is just astronomical, and it just literally goes it could either be just here or it could be on the planet Thanagar. It could be all over the place and all throughout history. It's amazing to me. So yeah, and my favorite character, the only character I really like a lot more than that, would be Captain America. So is what it is. Let's see. Gail Simone wants to write a Medusa solo. Sean, you and I are both dead center on that one because, yes, we both agree that would be a freaking... We both talked about that, which is funny. Her writing Medusa would be absolutely amazing. I would be so down for that. Let's see. Sean, plus lots of Marvel marriages don't last. You know what? Good point. That's actually a really good point. Yeah, it's probably not going to last anyway. Dick, the Time Warner owns double the IP Disney does. You crying about their monopoly. Can't mess with Dick Fillmore, man. That's the thing. I learned my lesson. Dick's got his A game on all the time. He will pull things out that you were not expecting. So, Mutants and Inhuman fanboy. This marriage should have been Star-Lord and Kitty Pryde, not Colossus. Well, the way that they ended would have made that really hard, but yeah. Bruno Pagan, hey, how you doing, man? Welcome to Comic Book University, where tuition is always free. Dick Fillmore, Disney helped ruin Star Wars, I'll agree. It is different. I'll say it's different. Disney would own 2/3 of the entertainment industry. Yeah, it's a lot. I don't know that it's 2/3 though. That doesn't quite make sense. I don't know how you're coming up with that number. Bro Pagan, hello. P.A. Stewart repeats my sentiments. Dick Fillmore, the Disney Time Warner owns Warner Brothers, DC, Harry Potter, Hanna-Barbera, and many more. Not even close to 2/3. Yeah, see. Gabriel Brennan, what's going on, man? Your beard, yeah, just got that one. Your beard should have its own miniseries. Who wants to write it? And who wants to draw it? James Croplin, he did a poll asking what fans want: New Gods, X-Men, Eternals. Ooh, Eternals. And another DC comic. I don't remember. Huh. Interesting. It's funny because not Tom King, Scott Snyder actually just asked a question. Somebody just asked a question, what are you going to be writing for DC next? And he says, what would you like me to write? And I didn't get the chance to click on it and check it out, but plus I'm not exactly the greatest mastermind with Twitter, so there's that. Okay, now I'm actually just seeing some pure spamming by Bruno. All right, well, hi, how are you? Mark Cabeza, this is what I like about. Manuel Cabeza. This is what I like about as a review. You are honest on your view. Thank you. Yes, and I try to back it up with things instead of just getting emotional. Like I get emotional, I get excited, and sometimes I will get angry, but I'll try and temper my ire or my glee so that I can actually explain with details. Otherwise, yeah, it is just kind of fanboying out, and I don't really like that. Xenomorph Queen. Venom, Anti-Venom, Carnage had their comics only scorn remain. Well, I'm surprised that s.h.i.e.l.d. didn't jump all over that. Xenomorph Queen, I think you're going to be real happy when you see the Venom. Why did I just say Venom? When you see who the Red Goblin is, all right? Because, yeah, Red Goblin. I think that might actually get you really excited. Look for it soon in the pages of Amazing Spider-Man. It's going to be the last thing that Dan Slott writes for Spider-Man. Sean says Cable will get a new villain in the next arc. Nice. Cable needs a new villain. It can't just be Strife, and every so often what we're currently seeing with what's his name? Blah blah blah. What the heck is his name? Gideon. There we go. Jeez. Sean Sadra, you should start reviewing Nightwing again. Yeah, I saw you said that. You sent that to me in it was either a message or a comment, and yeah, I think that maybe I should jump back on it again. I guess I just jumped on it at the exact wrong time when they had these goofball sideshows. So, like, I know that Dick grew up in a circus, but it's like, that's enough with the circus thing. I don't need to see this version of the kangaroo. You know what I'm saying? You remember the kangaroo from the Spider-Man comics? Who actually liked the kangaroo? Get down, hand. But like, we got a version of the kangaroo on here. Come on, and then a gorilla. I know DC really likes the gorillas. That's actually a funny one. I have to remember exactly what year it was, but there was just a really interesting coincidence where DC had wound up putting out a couple of covers that had gorillas on them this one month. In this one particular year. And the sales for DC Comics that month was higher than any of the other months that it had for that year or for a couple years prior. And DC is not one to overlook a coincidence. So they looked at that and they said, we had gorillas on all these comics covers. You know what we should do? We should start doing more things with gorillas. So they just had, Congo Bill came into like superstardom at that point. Gorilla Grodd was on everything. You had flying monkeys and just gorillas all over the place on everything you could possibly imagine. You know what I'm saying? They went nuts with gorillas to the point that DC actually had to say, you know what? We're actually going to have a limit on gorillas that can be on, or that could be in a comic book every month. So everybody who wants to do a story with a gorilla who's writing for DC, you submit it, and then we'll assign when you're going to be allowed to do this so that we can stagger the gorilla action, the gorilla love. It was actually that bad, and I need to remember exactly what year and month that was, and you know what? That needs to be a comic. That I should actually do a video on that. You know what? Look for that one of these days soon, within the next week or two. Because that's actually let me write that down. Gorillas. So, yeah, that I just wrote on my thumb. Look at the volume TW owns. It's vast, Dick Fillmore says. Sean, the new age of DC is more like the new age of ripoffs. Yeah, I'm wondering if a lot of that Disney is owned by Buena Vista. I guess that was the deleted comment. Anyway, so what happened? Yeah, I wonder if it's just DC basically trying to capitalize on the whole SJW movement thing. That's the thing. Certain things bother me. You know what I'm saying? And when I say they bother me, it's one of those things where it's like, that's annoying, and then I just move on. You know what I'm saying? Like, look, I'm very interested in growing my channel organically. I've never asked anybody to share my videos. But at the same time, if Comics Boom, you're listening, you are freaking awesome, dude. And yes, get in contact with me when you could do a freaking one of these podcasts with me. This week would not have been good. I can barely talk. But, like Comics Boom actually shared a couple of my tweets. Like the ones that I really love, like the Explained in a Minutes and all that stuff. I appreciate the hell out of that. I couldn't possibly, thank him more for that. You know what I'm saying? Especially since his Twitter following is much bigger than mine. It's about 3 or more times bigger than mine. But I don't know why I keep on adjusting my head. I'm not used to wearing a hat. You know what I'm saying? I just I have 3 bandanas, and 2 of them are in a laundry, and I can't find the third one, so I'm wearing my hat instead. And every time I go to adjust my hat to move it out of my eyes, it just goes back in the exact same spot. So it's the weirdest thing. But anyway, I've never asked anybody to share my stuff. You know what I'm saying? On Facebook, on YouTube, on Reddit, or whatever. I've never asked anybody to share anything, and I'm still not asking anybody to share that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because I still look at my stuff and I say, you know what? I've come very far since I started. However, who knows how much further I'm going to go? You know what I'm saying? Who knows what new developments I'll have? Maybe I'll start on a new program, or I'll get I'll learn how to use my mic better and get the sound better, because I've always had a problem with my sound. I want my sound to be as crisp as possible. And in this room, this 5x5 room, it's very hard to do, But I'm always trying to find new ways to do these things. And just today, very early today, my Cloak and Dagger Explained in a Minute. That was the last video that I did using my phone as video and sound. All right, that was the last video I did. Actually, no, I've done Iron Fist immediately after that also, but that was the last one I did using my phone as both my video and my sound. That was before I got my Blue Yeti over here. So the sound is not very high, and somebody again comments, I can barely hear you. It's like, I know, because the video kind of sucks, but there's so many people who've seen it now. I'm like, you know what? I think I'm going to try and just redo the video, and I'm going to try and do a link in there to say, hey, to see an updated version of this with better sound. I don't even think I'm going to redo a whole lot. I might do an intro on it, you know what I'm saying? But aside from that, I'm just going to keep it as is, But yeah, so I guess I should probably do that with Moon Knight also, and Eclipso, and a couple of the other guys like that, and probably Shazam also, since whatever. Anyway, just I don't know. It is what it is. It is what it is. But always trying to grow, always trying to do things like that. But at the same time, then I see some of these channels who get all of this attention, and Marvel is giving these guys attention, and they're the negative channels, you know what I'm saying? It's like they're out there, they're literally just trolling, they're spam trolling, trying to, get the whole, attention, being the squeaky wheel, insulting and using all this, I don't care about foul language doesn't offend me, whatever, it's freedom of speech, do it, say whatever you want, I don't care, but, the idea of actually attacking people and just there's no need to do stuff like that, especially attacking somebody because maybe they're homosexual or because they're transgender. How is that even any of your business? How does that affect you? That's just the dumbest thing in the world. You know what I'm saying? I am not interested. I don't care what gay people do. It doesn't affect me. So why are these people so hurt by it? Oh my God. So they attack them and, rah, 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 rah. And, dude, it's not even childish. It's planned childish. You know what I'm saying? It's attention getting, and it's all that stuff. And it bugs me when I see people like Mark Waid and Dan Slott and all these other people who are being attacked, giving it so much attention. I've got a YouTube channel, and I don't get nearly as attacked as those guys do. But I get people, if I go and do on my own channel, if I felt like it, I'd at least have the power to delete these people, you know what I'm saying? And sometimes, they get really particularly critical, I will, you know what I'm saying? But for the most part, it's just like, whatever. I just got insulted some other day. Somebody calls me an idiot. Like, oh, wow, it's the internet, and somebody called me an idiot? I never would have expected that. I could care less. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't bug me. I didn't even respond because why? But when these guys give them the attention, but then they don't give attention to people like, I'm gonna whine a little bit, like me. What about me? It sounds so childish, you know what I'm saying? And again, I don't need the attention. I don't need it. But how do you think these guys within 4 months got to 40K plus subscribers? God forbid all the views that they've got. You know what I'm saying? How do you think that happened? How do you think they've already got a Patreon account and people just imitating their channel and using the same buzzwords and keywords that they use so that they could get views also and things? Like, it's just so... It's redundancy of foolishness. It's not original. It's Howard Stern's shock jock stuff, and I just don't get it. Somebody actually asked me directly, "What do you think about this guy?" And I was like, I don't watch other people's stuff. I watch my stuff. You know what I'm saying? I make my own stuff because I don't want to potentially be influenced by something that they say or do. You know what I'm saying? But here on the podcast where I'm actually talking, yeah, it's like they're annoying. They're annoying, and the thing that they don't bother me because even if they come over to my channel and start, like, what are they going to do? Yell in my comment section? Yell over here? You know what I'm saying? Yell in the live chat? Ooh. You're going to talk about me on your freaking channel? Ooh. Thank you. You know what? The actual worst thing they could do for themselves is to give me that attention. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't care. Thumbs down my videos and stuff like that. Thank you for the activity. You know what I'm saying? But for the most part, I just see it as you're giving these people attention. You're fueling the fire. Why would you do that? It's just so dumb. And if you're going to fuel anybody, fuel the people who are actually, positive, who will give negative criticism, but in a not vehement way, in a non-childish way, temper tantrum. Just, oh my God. It's just, I'm done. I'm done with that. Are we going to do the segment soon? Calm down, man. Calm down. It's coming. It's coming. Like I said, I got something special for you, man. It might be worth waiting for, right? Shoot, missing stuff. I even messed it up there. I'm seeing something about Martian Manhunter. I don't want to miss that. Okay. Stop it. Yep, there's some more damage. Edward, yeah, I just actually mentioned damage. That's why everybody's popping off about that right now. Dick Fillmore, mutants and Inhumans are quite different. Yeah, exactly. They are so different. And on top of that, replacements for this. You know what? A Stan Lee and Jack Kirby created bunch of characters is replacing a Stan Lee, Jack Kirby bunch of created characters. I've heard worse. You know what I'm saying? It's not that big of a deal. I just don't really see that big of a deal on it. Sean, I think you asked me about thoughts on Red Goblin beforehand. I don't want to give the spoilers for that. If somebody wants to say it in the chat, that's fine, but I'm not going to put it in the live feed because I don't want anybody to have those spoilers, man. But my thoughts on the Red Goblin, I said that I've been waiting for this to happen, for something like this to happen. I didn't realize it was going to be this amazing. This is insane. But, oh yeah, dude. Oh yeah. I'm all on board for this. James Hayes. Hawkman always made me think of Flash Gordon. because those are the actual Thanagarians in there. That's the funniest thing. They were actually owned by the same, but they weren't actually allowed to use the word Hawkman, so they're the Hawk people. Excuse me, something to that effect. No such thing as a weird favorite. Mine is Nate Gray. Nate Gray is awesome, man. Actually, Sean Satrai just mentioned that Nate Gray is going to be coming back pretty soon in, what is it? Did you say X-Men Red? I can't remember. Nate Gray is the most powerful character in comics. He is absolutely one of the most powerful characters in comics. Hayes, Ed, James, me too. Oh, hey, okay, gotcha. Sean, Martian Manhunter was seen in the Flash flashback of the latest Justice League comic. Get out! Oh, sweet. Sean, I will write and draw your beard comic. Nice. Edward Brewer agrees. Xenomorph Queen, sweet. Okay, so the guys are fighting over the well, not fighting. They're explaining to each other. Just don't mansplain the Inhumans and the mutant differences. Yeah, the Inhumans have much more of a backstory than the X-Men do, believe it or not. But the current actual storylines in comics themselves goes to mutants hands down. Also hope he'll be in the next Cable arc, maybe Nate Gray. Yeah, you were the one who said that to me at one point. Of course, surfing with Dick Fillmore. Sorry, I didn't catch the Joe Satriani comment. I couldn't see right. My eyes were actually welling up with tears. Like I was trying to hold back coughs so bad last time. So I saw something you said. I was like, you wrote something about Saturn or something. Yeah, Joe Satriani. I remember seeing that tape. Yes, tapes. That's how old I am. I was out in the Sam Goody one time, and I saw this tape, red background and everything, and it had Silver Surfer on it. And I'm like, who's this Joe Satriani guy? I had to sit there and try to pronounce his name for a while. I can't remember how old I was, but I was a kid. And I was like, whatever, man, I'm going to buy it. Because, like, I don't know how he apparently he did it. He didn't ask for Marvel's permission, but they were totally cool with it, you know? So I bought it, and I went back home, and my uncle never even heard of it. You know, he's only like 7 years older than I am, but he was always into rock, you know, and the metal scene and whatnot. So, but his girlfriend, my aunt at this point, she, you know, headbanger extraordinaire. She had all the coolest posters in the world up in her room, and all the greatest bands. And I was like, you know, do you know who this is? Like, oh, Joe Satriani. Bill, you are going to love this. I was like, really? Well, all right then. So, you know, I played it. Sure enough, yup. Oh man, that was it was actually because of that I started playing guitar kind of late in my life. I wanted to play guitar a lot later, but I started playing guitar because of Joe Satriani. No, I never got anywhere near as good as Joe Satriani is. But I was pretty good with frets for a little while. Anyway, good Marvel character. Edward says, Jeff Duarte, what's up, man? Boom, 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 boom. Let's pass the individual discussions. So do Deviants and Eternals. Yeah, exactly. See, that's always the coolest thing to me, is that Deviants and Mutants are technically the same thing, which is like the coolest thing in the world, because like that technically means that Thanos is a mutant Eternal. That's crazy. That's crazy, which also explains why he's so ridiculously powerful, because the Eternals are the pinnacle of human evolution, what the humans could potentially ever be. But at the same time, now we've also got an Inhuman who is a deviant, which just makes him absurdly powerful. Absurd. Planet of the Apes, you mean Justice League Ape? Geez, these are actually way in the past. There will be a bearded Namor in Exiles #1. Interesting, since he's also going to be in X-Men Red. What do we got here? James Hayes. I also find the origin of Hawkman, that he was created by Gardner Fox and Dennis Neville for Flash Comics #1. Yes, and came out before Wonder Woman. Oh, you actually even wrote, 1940. Yeah, exactly. King of Comics. Hey, how you doing? Wow, you move on that easily. DNC will still be roasting Mark Waid in 2049. Yes, they will. Yes, they will. And you know what? That's the thing. You want to know why these guys will be roasting these guys to that point? Because they don't have anything else. I know. It's absurd. But these are literally guys who are in a fairly small pot, and they're just stirring the same thing over and over again. And at some point, you know what I'm saying? You know the old term, like what is it? Crap or get off the bowl. You know what I'm saying? It's like they're literally just stewing in it for so long, and I don't see the point. I just don't see the point in it. Like I myself, I refuse to, if I dislike a couple of comics in a row from the same comic, I literally just stop buying the comic. If I'm reviewing the comic, I've done that with Generation X. I've done that with Iceman. I actually got pretty far with Iceman. I did that with Captain Marvel. There's a couple of times. I did that with Avengers for a little while with Mark Waid, believe it or not. And then I came back on because they had the infamous Iron Man in there, Doctor Doom, showing up for a story arc. And I was like, okay, I'm going to jump over for that because I love, infamous Iron Man. He's insane. So, I jumped back on and it wound up being better writing at this point. But yeah, like I stop reading a comic book when I dislike it. These guys will be Marvel's biggest fans. Their biggest fans. You know what I'm saying? Strictly because if they ever did stop reading the comic books that they love, like you know what I'm saying, it's a definition of insanity to continue doing the same thing over and over again, hoping for a different result. That's the thing. They're not hoping for a different result. If Marvel ever went back to the way it was, they would still do the best they can, because like what they've got is simply not sustainable, and that's the thing about it. It's like breeding in the same gene pool. You can't continue life that way. So I did the math. Quicksilver, Sunspot, Cannonball, and Iron Patriot might die. And whoa! In Avengers 678. Geez, Sean, calm down, man. You going around killing people off now? Yeah, I can see Sunspot dying, and Quicksilver kind of deserves it. Iron Patriot, though? No. And Cannonball? What, does he stop? Cannonball, I'm hoping not, because there's so much more they could do with him. And Iron Patriot, no, don't do that to me. She just became the the AIM Supreme, the Scientist Supreme. James Cropland, King of Comics don't promote gimmicks by mentioning their names. Oh. Yeah, it is a gimmick, right? Comics watching. Hey, what's going on, man? Evening, Professor. I love to watch you in some crossover videos. I agree the organic approach to content creation, it yields more. That's the thing. I do want to do some crossover stuff. I've done stuff with the Geek Fortress's Lewis. He's actually a friend of mine for a couple years back, from back in Jersey. It's not always, we can't just keep on doing the same thing. I would like to do something with Comics Boom. I've just been so freaking sick for the past week and a half, 2 weeks. What do you call it? But yeah, I do want to actually get in contact with him and be like, hey, we follow each other on Twitter, for crying out loud. Why haven't we done this by now, But we actually want to get there and talk about Iron Man, specifically Tony Stark, but any version of Iron Man is on the table. And just because I think that he is a secret villain, you know what I'm saying? And he's got his own opinion on several other versions, namely Riri Williams, whom I adore. I love Riri Williams. I know, it's the weirdest thing, right? But, yeah, that's the thing. Like, I really want to sit down because we have such a diverse opinion, that I think that it would actually be really good. So I would love to do something like that with him one of these days. Boom. Jerry Springer was very popular. Yes, he was. Good point, Ed Brewer. Unfortunately, okay, what's going on, man? Unfortunately, the world responds more to hate than they do to critical analysis. Jeff Duarte agrees with me. Truth. Easier to destroy than create. Dick Fillmore, see, that is something that I've lived by. That is something I've genuinely lived by. You know what's funny? I'm going to tell you when I first did. This is the weirdest, stupidest story I'm going to tell you, but I'm going to keep it short. I had to have been 8 years old. No. I was in Ohio at the time. So if I wasn't 9, then I was 10 years old. But I remember I was sitting down at McDonald's, all right, with my family. I'm sitting down at this McDonald's. My dad is drinking his coffee, and he used to do this thing where he would sit there and nurse a cup of coffee and then go for a second cup, nurse that. By the time he got to the third, then he was okay. That old meme, before there were memes, don't talk to me until I've had my second cup of coffee. That was my father, okay? And that's the reason why I do not drink coffee, because I don't want to ever depend. I don't want my happiness and my energy to depend on something like that. You know what I'm saying? But on top of that, I remember since we'd have to sit there for so long and just couldn't really talk, you know what I'm saying? Because he would be grumpy. He would just give you this look, you know what I'm saying? And be like, why don't you go outside and play in traffic? And when we were kids back then, back in the 80s, yeah, they literally meant go outside and play in the street. You know what I'm saying? The cars would honk at you, and you'd have to, you go up the street until the cars are gone, then you go back on the street again. You think I'm joking, dude? I'm not. I'm so dead serious. Dick Fillmore would attest to that. I'm positive of it. The days when you could actually play street hockey, yes, in the streets. So, and not on a PS4 or something. Anyway, so I was sitting there. I said I was going to keep this short, right? I was sitting there. I remember one time playing with my cup of whatever soda I had. I guess my dad got me Coke. Anyway, I was just sitting there looking at it, and I used to always make sure I'd pop all of the little tabs on the top. And I remember looking at it one time, and I said, what's interesting is even if I reach underneath and I put them back, they still got the indent in them. I can never take out that indent. So the only way to keep this pure is to not mess with it. And that's where the term holy comes from. Holy means untouched by man, right? So I literally looked at it as the only way, so a holy McDonald's lid, I guess. So I looked at it as the only way that I can preserve nature is by not touching it. And this is long before I ever heard the term carbon footprint. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's when I came with the idea. Like, it's so easy to just destroy, but look at how much willpower it takes to not just punch in all those stupid things. And I started applying that to more things in my life. And yeah, I used to always draw pictures, so that was one of the things for me. I grew up and I started understanding the idea of only an artist should be allowed to destroy his or her work. So yeah, just things along those lines. So yes, it is easier to destroy than create. But that's Thanos' place in the world. Comics watching. I think your channel is one of the most natural comics channels here. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. Genuinely, from my heart. I know I don't usually respond to people who say things like that, who write things like that in the comments section, but here, since I'm actually talking, I can actually put inflection in my voice so it doesn't sound sarcastic or something. I genuinely appreciate, reading things like that from people. There is nothing more that I'd rather hear than something like that, So genuinely, from my heart, I appreciate it. Great personality, great views, great insight. Keep that up. I will persevere. Ed Brewer, who has time to read bad books anyway, right? King of Comics, when they make one video roasting a book, it's a review. When they buy every issue of America and say it sucks, it's trouble. Yeah, right? Geez, they almost kept America. You know what's so funny is that there was just a list that was put out of all the comics that are being canceled. I either never read or dropped every single one of the comics on that list. Go figure. Go figure. And these are all the ones that these guys just keep on reviewing. So, oh man. Sean Cedra, I hate it when people say that Inhumans rips off X-Men or something. They were created by the same people. Yeah, and only 3 or 6 months apart from each other. Exactly. Should I name my kid Stan Kirby or Jack Lee? Maybe Jack Bruce Lee. Ooh. I like it. When I used to practice the martial arts when I was really, really, really young, and I had a sensei who just, chuckled at me until I got older and said, "Stop it, that sounds stupid." I used to call myself Billy, as in Bill Lee. And my favorite joke that I would tell over and over again, what is Bruce Lee's favorite drink? Water! Yeah, I told you I was young. All right. I started when I was 8, man. Let it go. So, if I remember right, James Croplin says, if I remember right, Inhumans actually were created first. No, X-Men were created first. They were created 6 months earlier. Sean Cedra, where do you get your info on upcoming content? That's a good question, but I don't think he's going to reveal his information. Twitter. Okay, never mind. Right away, just Twitter. And actually, Mutants came first, and Humans came 2 years after. I don't think it was a full 2 years, man. 2 in 1, number 2. I'm ready. Edward Brewer. Jack Bruce Lee is a great name. Dick Fillmore approves. Thanos' son is an Inhuman. That's right. James Corporal, I made a comment about a site about the Kitty Colossus marriage. Moderator said they'd be doing a couple of marriages this year. You know anything? No, I don't know anything about the marriages, but I'll get out of here. I was just going to say Sean Cedra, I probably know. No, but I heard Wiccan and Hulkling might get married. Mark The Mark Wade YouTube users here. Mark who? Oh man. Danny and Nate, maybe Mark. Boom. Okay, so everybody's talking to each other. Oh wow, Geek Fortress! I summoned him by accident. Okay, so let's just get on. You know what? Let's just start up with this segment. So I'm going to start this. Oh, actually, first, really quick, I've got this thing up here. Rian Johnson. He apparently apparently got sick and tired of being trolled by people. But, Jedi wouldn't do this. Jedi wouldn't do that. Ah! So he goes and he takes just a couple. He doesn't say anything. He just takes like 2 pictures of him looking through his Jedi manuals. All right, he's got the Sith path and the Jedi path in this one thing, and he opens it up and he looks at, and he opens up and he starts and he just points to like 2 different things on there and takes a snapshot of it, so that you could actually see that everything that he did is actually already happened, either in what is currently considered canonical, or what is now considered the EU. So either way, it's like boom, gotcha. What a great way to just like to like counteract the troll, right? So let's and that's specifically for the trolls. That's specifically for the trolls. Okay, now first off, let me do something here. We're gonna do the segment now, the Eye of Agamotto segment. That's right, man. I got you, brother. I told you I got a surprise for you. Here it is. You are officially a viewed segment. So Sean Sidrai's Eye of Agamotto thing. What do you call it? What do we got here? Let's go on here and see what he has sent me. He sent me a lot. Okay, so I am seeing more Detective Chimp is coming up for, what do you call it, DC Metal, which doesn't fill me with a whole lot of joy. Here is a penciled, oh no, this is actually penciled and inked, Get Out of Town for Cable issue number 155. I don't know if you guys can see that, but that is Nimrod, my peeps. That is Nimrod. Oh my god. I loves. Should be lips on a butt. I'll knock it off. Whoa, dude. I love Nimrod. Like, when Nimrod and Master Mold merged to become Bastion, like a little tear was shed, because I was like, not by me, I don't cry, you're crying, I'm not crying. No, seriously, I was a little bit upset. I'm like, come on, man, I love Nimrod. He was like, he just looked so awesome, And then, of course, when they showed him up, and he just right away, like, he knocks out freaking, literally, like, one-shots Juggernaut with a disintegrator beam. I'm like, like, you don't just get rid of a character like that, man. Holy crap. So, oh, hello. Promethea in Justice League of America. The frig, man. Oh, wow. Okay, so she's showing up. Another comic I'm going to be asked to read. Okay, people commenting on my stuff. Oh, wow, so I must have missed a lot, because there's a lot more. Oh, nice. Oh, Nocturne might be in the upcoming Exiles that Saladin Ahmed is doing. Do you know who's actually who's drawing that one? Is Christian Ward on that one, or what? Here is Captain America issue number 700. Looks like some nice inks there. I'm digging it. I'm down. What else do we have? A bunch of Hulk variant covers. These are actually really nice, too. These are actually really nice. I don't know if you guys can see all that. You might have to pause that a little bit later. These are looking really good. Seeing Nimrod return, I'm going to have to start reading Cable. There you go, James. Javier from the Royals book. Thank you, Sean. Okay, from the Royals book. You know what? The Royals isn't necessarily drawn badly. It almost feels like it's drawn quickly, but I think that's mostly just because the 2 things, actually. One, it's supposed to be spacey. Obviously, they're in space. They're meeting with the Primaturs and all these different creatures that never existed in the Marvel Universe before, but all of a sudden, oh, hey, guess what? These things were always here. Expanding the Marvel cosmos, which is fine. I'm good with it. They weren't exactly drawn the best. It was like they were trying to imitate Kirby and just didn't quite make it. But also, Inhumans Prime was just drawn so gorgeously, and then to see Royals that just wasn't drawn as well. Yeah. I just hope he takes a little bit more time with what he's doing, because yeah, I just want to see it drawn well. I want to see it drawn really well. Iron Fist number 78 preview, Doctor Strange Damnation tie-in. That's actually a really good point. Damnation is the new storyline crossover event that's going to feature Doctor Strange. I guess that's where he's getting his powers back, something to that effect. It should be after this whole Yggdrasil, the World Tree power. He's got Asgardian magic right now, and it looks like he just got absorbed by the Void. Yeah, so the Sentry is back, and all sorts of crazy things happening in the Doctor Strange comics right now, being written by Donny Cates, who is a freaking frighteningly awesome writer. He's also writing Thanos in Marvel right now. Big controversy there between what he's doing and what Jim Starlin was doing. The reason why he left was not actually because of Donny Cates, though. It's because of, he says it's because of Jim Brevoort. So, yeah. Anyway, what the heck was I saying about, so anyway, Damnation is going to be co-written by Donny Cates and, here it comes, Nick Spencer, who did Secret Empire. Now, again, I liked Secret Empire. The ending fell a little bit flat for me. I kind of read it and I was like, oh, that's cool. But they really built up the ending. Like, it was going to be something that all of us were going to go, whoa, about. And I didn't go, whoa. I just kind of looked at it like, oh. Is that it? They were originally supposed to do 9 issues, but they added a 10th issue. They added this issue. I figured there would be more. And there just wasn't. So, ending wasn't really that great. It's kind of shameful, but it is what it is. Yeah, got the Cable preview. What do we got here? Oh, the Namor cover. There's a bunch of variant covers for Namor, and they're actually doing the old stat block. You remember they would do that for the Marvel trading cards back in the day. So you can actually see they got the stat block on the back cover, which actually looks really cool. I'm digging that. What do we got here? King Cobra will be in Iron Fist 2. Awesome, Sean. Awesome. Oh, Fat Cobra. Okay, thank you. Fat Cobra. Now, yeah. Wait a second. That's right. King Cobra. King Cobra is over in freaking DC. How'd that happen? So Fat Cobra. Okay, cool. Was an old Shaft-like character in the 70s. Yeah, Dick would know that. Those comics watching, those Doctor Strange Damnation tie-in covers are amazing. They really are. The first one looks like Infinity Countdown number 1 that dropped this week. Infinity Countdown did not drop this week. It might drop this Wednesday. I can't actually remember. But yeah, all that stuff is actually dropping soon. I think Adam Warlock, yes, is dropping this this Wednesday. We'll see. I'll find out on Tuesday for sure. And then a variant cover for Phoenix, which awesome. So not a whole lot, but nonetheless, we got a segment. And dude, you have officially, like, that's it. You're a part of Comic Book University at this point, Sean. You are the Eye of Agamotto. So I will try to remember to put this graphic up all the time. And let's just, what else did I really want to talk about? Oh, like I need to even say this. Somebody felt the need to write in. The Inhumans TV series was apparently canceled innocuously, undercover, without anybody noticing. And I read that, and I was like, wait, was anybody ever actually thinking it was going to be renewed? The Inhumans TV show stunk to high holy heaven. Like, the only two good things about it were Anson Mount and Serinda Swan, who was playing Black Bolt and Medusa. And it was only because they're acting. The costumes weren't that great. They cut Medusa's hair on the first episode. Oh, what a cheap way to save money on CGI. Oh, you cheapy. Oh. Anyway, and even though, what's his name, Triton's makeup was horrible, and they should have given him that mask that he's currently wearing, he was awesome. But they only had him in the last 2 episodes. So Karnak was the worst part, and Karnak is the one that everybody wants to see, you know? And he was the absolute worst part in it. Anyway. Um, Thanos apparently has a Hulk coming up. He's got a Hulk on a leash in the latest Thanos comic book coming out. I think that should actually drop on Wednesday. King Thanos from the future, who just brought Thanos from the past to meet him. Ooh, and Thanos' original name was mentioned, which is like oh crap. So they just gave him an original birth name. His mother said Thanos after she said this original name, which was interesting. Go back and check out my review for that. I think that's issue number 14. Anyway, Man of Steel 2 is still happening. They just wanted to confirm that, which, good. Again, I didn't like the whole, snap your neck thing. It's like, cover his eyes, dude. Cover Zod's eyes, and then fly him up into space, and then, you know what I'm saying? Like, think of something else to do, man. You don't just snap the dude's neck. Come on. Anyway, so they're gonna make a part 2 to that. Awesome. And finally, a bit of betrayal. Apparently, Tom Holland is going to be appearing as Spider-Man in the upcoming Tom Hardy. That is going to be the Tom Venom movie. Which, act of utter betrayal, man. What a shame. Yes, James Cropland, the current run of Thanos. Anyway, somebody hasn't read Black Bolt? Yes, read Black Bolt. It's freaking amazing. Chicken Soup. What, Chicken Soup for the Soul, P.A. Stewart? What's going on? Chicken Soup for the comic book soul? I'm trying. Dude, I got like 2 kids in here, and one of the kids is in school. He's in grade school now. He just started kindergarten, pre-kindergarten actually. So if any of those kids are sick, I'm getting sick. So I hope we redo the Humans as high-budget movie. Yes, Sean, that's what they need to do. Actually, I think that Inhumans are one of those things that I guess would have been better as a movie. Like you had Vin Diesel who wanted to play Black Bolt, and you turn around and you're like, let's do some low-budget thing instead that he's not going to be interested in doing. Oh, why? Who made that decision? And just, that guy. Dick, get him. Brian Jason Mackey. Hi. What's going on, Brian? Welcome to Comic Book University. Anyway, so that's pretty much all I got. I just want to mention the act of betrayal. They were not supposed to actually cross over any of the Sony properties with the Sony property that is Spider-Man himself. Tom Holland's Spider-Man was not supposed to cross over with anybody, and it was actually an act of good faith that was going to happen, but instead they kind of looked at that, and again, Avi Arad's there, so he kind of looked at it as like, act of good faith? Okay, so let's dig our filthy fingers into this. So that was never, ever going to happen in a good way. So I guess, anyway, it is what it is. That should have been signed, sealed, and delivered, like no joke, under a penalty of Draconis. Fire coming on you. Anyway, and I can't wait to see that final episode of Game of Thrones. Alright guys, that's it for me. I actually have a Star Wars Final Flight game that's about to start in 45 minutes, and that's going to be on YouTube. It's going to be a session 0, so I don't know what we're going to be playing. I better actually get my books out. Here it is here. Anybody ever play this game? I love role-playing games, the pen and paper and dice games. Boom. Yeah, I absolutely love this game. So we're going to see what we're going to be playing. We're going to see what kind of races we're going to be, what kind of characters. Maybe we'll do something in space. We're going to actually be like, I wouldn't mind being a starfighter pilot. That's what I haven't had the chance to play that yet. I played a Jedi. I played maybe we'll play some Sith and just go and start killing people. Yeah. Anyway, played a bounty hunter. That was awesome. Played some soldiers before. Played a demo expert. Yeah, that was cool. Heavy gunner. Played a guy who just walks in with big vibro brass knuckles, just punching people in the faces. Yeah, a lot of fun. Anyway, so we'll see what happens. And as soon as I actually get a link for where all that stuff is going to be, I'll make sure I link it to this dude's page. It's on the Tides of Change role-playing club. You need an invite for that on Facebook, but ask for the invite, you'll get the invite, and then you can see all that stuff. Anyway, so that's going to be it for me. Let me just finish these last things. Thoughts on Hunt for Wolverine? The Hunt for Wolverine is literally just pages, Sean, It's just you know what it is. It's just a couple of pages. It's like one page on the end of each comic book. You see the oh, I didn't actually grab Thor. I was so sick that I grabbed 9 comic books from the comic book store, and I didn't even grab the Mighty Thor. So, like, fortunately, I remembered like I read the stuff when I was there, and I read the stuff while I was there at the comic book store making my video, my This Week in Comics, which I do live from Gotham Central Comics and Collectibles, and that goes up every Tuesday. And boom, I remember I came home and I just shot the video real quick because I realized I forgot to actually bring it home with me, which is just, oh, so sick. Anyway, so yeah, it had the Wolverine there, and then one comic book the previous week had one. It's literally just, if you see Wolverine's face on the cover of a comic book, one comic book per week will have it. The very last page in the comic will have a picture of the actual Wolverine, who just came back. He broke free from his adamantium. We missed you. And he's just going to have a non-interaction interaction. You know, it was in Captain America in the previous month or whatever. He showed up in the issue of Captain America at some diner someplace. Steve Rogers was apparently supposed to be there. Wasn't expecting her or anything. He's like, hey, is Steve Rogers here? No. Oh, well. Yeah, he's probably off doing something. Anyway, bye. And he left, and that was it. And in this one, it was Thor. He stopped off in, what do you call it? The hospital to see Jane Foster, but he didn't say anything. He didn't leave a card in there. He was just like, you know, give these to Jane Foster, and then he turned around and he walked out, and that's it. And it's like, dude, whoa. So, you know, like, they're not doing anything. It's like, for the most part, who cares? It's a nothing, you know what I'm saying? But it's, at least they're still remembering that Wolverine exists. You know, it's like, we brought him back in Legacy. Let's actually do something with him. So it's cute. It's like a little Where's Waldo, but instead of stripes, it's stripes made from blood because he just sliced you in 4. Yeah. Anyway, no Hunt for Wolverine, a book coming in April, will be written by the guy who wrote The Death of Wolverine. Awesome. Rian Johnson referenced a non-comic old EU book. Had to stress that. No, you're absolutely right. That's exactly it. It's EU, but that's the thing. It is in the EU, and I think that most people are complaining that Disney just completely dropped the EU. And accordingly to an article that came out last week, they did it because they said, listen, if we take the EU, we kind of got to take everything in the EU. And Chewbacca died. Ari Salvatore, the guy who does all the Dritz Duerden books, he killed in a book called Vector Prime. It was the one where they first were about to introduce the Yuuzhan Vong. Fantastic storyline. They killed Chewbacca and they dropped a freaking wound on him. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying. So you're like, yeah, no, we're not going to kill Chewbacca. The guy's still alive. We can still do some things with him. So no, we're not going to kill him. Yeah, so I'm sure that's just an excuse more than anything else, but it is what it is. But yeah, a lot of people, yeah. Oh, that's what you're saying, chicken soup. Gotcha, PA store. Yeah, I'll try. Somebody made a really funny joke. They're like, oh man, I thought you were gonna die. Your voice is so bad. Hey, dibs on the Dr. Doom if you do croak. I'm gonna start running my will now. Everybody, look around, see what you like. I'll see what I could do. Anyway, okay, that's it. I'm done. I'm out. I'm leaving. All right, guys. Thank you so much. A lot of interaction today, as always. Absolutely love it. And yeah, I'm out. I will see you guys. You know, I do videos all the time. And podcast next Saturday, and just and you never know when I'm going to go live. I actually have to watch. I haven't watched it yet, Black Lightning, and I will just surprise go live at one point. So if you want, consider clicking the bell down there. I'm always scheduled Saturdays, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time for this podcast. But when I'm going to go live to do a review of a TV show that I watched, or if I just, surprise, hey, I didn't really like this comic too much. I don't want to take the time to write and edit and render and upload a video for it. So I'm just going to do, I'm going to shoot it live on my phone. Sometimes I do that too. So you want to know when I'm live, click the bell. That's it. Anyway, just podcasts, I'll talk about anything, but if I go live about something, I did a happy birthday to Stan Lee thing for his 95th birthday 3 weeks ago, and on there I had to ignore a couple of questions that were non-Stan Lee related. You know what I'm saying? So Yeah, that being said, if I am doing a video about something specific, I do only want to talk about that thing because this is going to be a video that will go permanently on YouTube, and nobody else wants to jump on and be like, okay, let's talk about Black Lightning. Who's these people talking about Death of Wolverine? What's going on? What are you doing? You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I do it live to have interactions about that particular video. That's it. That's all. Anyway, bye. Comic Book University, class dismissed.